This is I. David Marshall, head of Workers' Comp, commonly referred to as the WSIB, an agency whose mission is to help injured workers. Mr. Marshall's salary is a whopping $400,000 a year. But there's an incentive for him if he can keep costs down.
This man has no background in workers' compensation. He was a diplomat in, I think, Barbados. He was a banker, and he comes in to fix the board. If he's successful, in addition to his paycheck of $400,000 per year, at the end of his contract, he will receive a 20% bonus on each of those years for another payment of $400,000. Injured workers are incensed about this, absolutely incensed. How can this man receive this amount of money and the task that he is undertaking is to do us harm?
In the past, workers were better treated. They were allowed time off from the job to heal from their injuries. Under Mr. Marshall's watch, the healing time has been taken away. Workers injured on the job are pressured to go back to work as soon as possible.
The employer has a very high incentive to have that worker not receive benefits for their claim. And so they offer the worker a modified job, a suitable job. It's ready for you tomorrow, the day after your accident. And in fact, you must come to it. If you don't come to it, there will be consequences. And they're quite nasty about it.
I was carrying steel beams around 250 to 300 kilo. I slipped with my right leg, and I cracked my low back. They told me that I have to come back to work next Monday. When I came back, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit.
Edward South damaged his shoulder while working at a company which manufactures car parts.
I was working one day, and then all of a sudden I went to throw two cam covers on, and I just dropped them and doubled over in pain, literally. The pain in my arm, my left arm specifically, although it affected both sides, was just astronomical.
The company quickly gave him another job, which injured him further. Under Mr. Marshall's new plan, businesses are now given incentives to get injured workers back on the job right away.
So it was do the job or quit, and then be really screwed. What could I do? Quit my job? Then I'll be an injured worker with no job, no claim. I'd be literally worse off than I am now.
One of the things that has been completely lost in all this is the time to heal. So people are just rammed right back to work, or if they don't, then they just don't get their benefits, and all sorts of other cascading negative consequences occur. People lose their homes, they lose their families because of the stress, psychological problems, very difficult to recover from. Once a marriage is broken, it's hard to put it back together. Once you've lost your house, it's very difficult to get another house.
We couldn't pay the rent. I was straight up front with the landlord and told him about it, so he was nice and gave me 30 days to get out.
I have been without compensation since June 27, 2001. I have 4 children. For 4 months, we didn't have any food. We got some stuff from the friends, and I was receiving only $795 child tax benefits, and with that money I was paying the apartment. It was exactly that much money. My 4 children, they never ever had in high school breakfast or lunch, only what they eat when they came home.
Under the new system, the WSIB now goes to unusual lengths to disprove claims.
We are finding that if there's any hint of a psychological problem, the board is hiring private investigators to surveil these people. They are getting the family doctors to provide them with their clinical notes going back 5 years before the injury. The invasion of privacy is beyond belief. All of that material is made available to your employer should they want to appeal your claim.
We work hard for the money. Not that they think they say we fake. Nobody will go to work and just fake that he's sick. We went there to make a life. But it happened that you got sick. And if you are sick, they're supposed to give us our benefit. Why are they doing that to us?
The WSIB retrained Edward South to work on computers. When he finished the course, Edward was told to get a job within 30 days or he'd be cut off compensation. He worked in a call center for a few weeks, but had to quit because of chronic pain.
Greeter, customer service, call centers, some computer stuff. These are all jobs that the system thinks are sedentary. So they think, oh, this sounds okay because it just involves sitting. When you have a back injury, you need to stand up, you need to move around. Well, they say you can, but you can't because you've got a boss there who's saying you got to take those calls. There's no actual time for standing up and moving. Maybe theoretically there is, but in practice, when you're in the workplace that's got to make a profit, that's competitive, there's no time for that kind of thing. And people end up with secondary injuries.
Edward South continues to fight for his right to receive workers' compensation, but it's taken a heavy toll on him.
It's not right. I wouldn't wish anybody to get injured, and I mean there's 250,000 workers a year injured in this country. 1,000 and more dying on the job. And the government's great plan for them all is to upload them onto the community services like ODSP or welfare. Losing your family had a tremendous impact on me even, but your sense of self-worth and self-esteem, like you start to feel like you have no purpose.
In the meantime, David Marshall soldiers on, doing his level best to reduce the overall cost of benefits to workers. When he achieves this, he will receive an extra $400,000 bonus at the end of his contract.
He's making $400,000 a year, and I'm making zero. He takes his children to vacation. He and his wife, they go for dinner. I go on food bank. I stay home, I don't go no dinner. I don't go nowhere because I'm zero income. I'm zero income. Can you imagine that?